So guys, welcome back to the channel. We're just here in the lawnmower shed. I just want to show you this engine that we're going to be working on today. So in today's video, we're going to be trying to get this lawnmower running. So this lawnmower has been lying up in the shed for a very long time, for about 6 or 7 months. Since it last ran, it stopped running there because of lack of spark. Now I have other lawnmowers that I could have used, so that's why I was never really under pressure to get it going. But now that I had a bit more time on my hands, I could go and try and get it going. Now originally it had no spark, so now I fixed the spark in it. It was because the ammeter was earthing off the manifold, which was steel. I swapped the manifold because it was rusty and damaged off another engine, repaired it, put it back on, and then I have spark. But now it's a carburetor issue. But now, with these older engines or these old carburetors, fuel goes off in them and gets them stuck and stops them from running. So today we're going to be taking off the carburetor, but first I'm going to demonstrate how to see if it is a carburetor problem, to diagnose it, and then go from there and hopefully get it running for you guys. So that's what we're going to do today. So I hope you enjoy, and stay tuned anyway, guys. And so to start off, we're going to diagnose the problem, so to prove that it's actually a carburetor issue. First I'm going to be putting fuel through the carburetor, pull it over a few times and it will fire, so it means that it's only the carburetor that's the issue. So as you can see there, she ran perfect. Now I'm just going to be taking the carburetor off to give it a clean, as I have isolated the problem down to the carburetor, as it sparks, the compression, valves, and it starts perfect. It's all down to fuel. Now fuel was actually getting into the carburetor, but it wasn't actually getting out of the carburetor. That was actually the problem. So it's actually the little main jet that runs petrol from the carb into the manifold, which is actually blocked. But yeah, I recommend cleaning every jet, as there could be, if there's dirt in one jet, there's dirt in all of them. So I'm just going to see you back in the workshop. We'll take apart the carburetor, clean it, and I'll tell you what I do when I'm cleaning it and go from there. So yeah. Guys, we're here in the workshop and we have all-important carburetor. So as you can see on the outside, it is a bit grubby. So first of all, I'm going to give it a clean spray with a bit of D40, WD-40, all along the. You don't have to really do this, but on this one, as you can see, it's filthy. I don't want to get it's already dirty inside the carburetor. I don't want to get it even more dirty. So we'll just try and get all this grub and grime taken off it. Good old WD-40 does the job, and it actually preserves your seals in your carburetor. It also cleans them, and when you start your lawnmower, it will run on a little bit of D40, and that will clear it out. It'll clear itself out after a few seconds of running. So like I just use WD-40. It does all the work. You don't have to go get carburetor cleaner or anything like that. But that's my opinion anyway. You can see I'm just spraying it on that dirt, not too much, because you're not going to get everything, and it would be waste. So I'm just obviously you can see it's lovely and clean now. It's not spotless, but it's just going to stop the grime from going in the rest of it, the rest of the carburetor. So there's always a bolt here, and that's on a 13 or a ½ inch. Just loosened it off. Now there will be a certain amount of fuel, and that's why I have the tissue paper here. But I was in here already, but just for showing purposes. So you just do off that nut. As you see, the fuel leaking out. Because this will be full of fuel. That's the way it works. Now that's that off, and then just pop him off. So yeah, nice little bit of fuel. I'm just going to get the fuel soak out of the way. So I have the all-important nut and an all-important seal. So this is your bowl, and that's what's inside. As you can see there, absolutely spotless, not a drop or stain in there. But sometimes they can be a ring. It's all stained, and you have to get that nice and clean like that again. So there'll be no dirt. So that's perfect, because it was in here before. That's why that's clean. But it had a bit of grime in it and a bit of bits of dirt too. So this is the nut that secures that bowl onto the bottom of the lawnmower. Now if you look closely, it actually has jets in them. There's one there, so it has two, like you can see straight through, and then there has the top one as well. There's one on the top, and 3 jets. That sometimes can get clogged. Now sometimes you can do a trick on these lawnmowers. If it runs without you having to add fuel manually through the carburetor, and then it shuts off, this is because this is full of crud and needs to be cleaned. And you can do that on the lawnmower, but you have to make sure when you open that and take that whole mechanism off, that float will empty the tank into that. That's the way it works. It's gravity fed, so yeah, you don't have a full tank of fuel with you, or just disconnect the fuel lines. But if you disconnect the fuel lines, just take the tank off altogether, or just take the carburetor off altogether. So that is clean. That is clean. So now we're going to move in a little bit further onto to remove the float. Now we have our important float that's been taken out, and this is your little needle, and I'll show you how to put them back in. Very important, do not lose them. So obviously then you can see your assembly here. So there's several different holes to go through. There's 2 jets there. By right, if there's fuel in the tank and stuff, them 2 are not blocked. It's the likes of this one here, like there's a little gap in there. You square in WD-40 in there, that's where your seal is for your float, in here, and then there's a little one in here as well. And then you go around and you do here in the chamber, back here, and once you see, now you do this, and I see fuel coming out there. When I do this, fuel coming out, or more WD-40 coming out. That's it unseized, and that's what you're cleaning. And as you see, there's loads of dirt there that's just after coming out of it. So that goes to show the amount of crud that was stuck actually in the machine. By right, that should be clear, not full of dirt. So I'm just going to give it a good clean, and once you think it is cleaned, just go take your time with it, make sure you have everything cleaned, and then I'll show you how to reassemble it. We've cleaned all that. Now it's for reassembly time. So you just turn your machine up like this. I'll have it like that. So this is your all important float. Make sure that is okay condition. So the way you do it is with this little needle is you slot them in like that, so that this float holds up the needle like so. Then you put him in like that, line it up with your hole, that pops in. Then you get your little pin. You just slot the pin in. Oh, I think that's back to front. And that just slots in like so. You just need to push it in a little bit further with maybe a pliers or anything like that. That just pushes it in where it should be. And that's that put back on. Perfect. Now for your, once the seal is okay, I just plop the float back on, or the bottom bowl. Then next is the jet, but I put the brass seal washer on it, and then you line it up. Now this is very important, you do it by hand and do it very carefully, and you just find the threads, screw it in like so, and then you can go ahead, tighten it up with your 1/2 inch. And now all that has to do is be put back in the lawnmower, and yeah, so I'll see you back out on the lawnmower.
The power of flex tape. I sawed this boat in half.
There we have it, guys. We have the carburetor plumbed in. I put the fuel line back on, and I put back on my fuel tank. guys, I hope you enjoyed a bit of the work on this lawnmower. I'll hopefully have a video with the major out soon as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us.